Hello my darlings and welcome back to my channel. Looking kind of crazy today because we've just filmed with the Culturals palette, but today I wanted to do a first impressions on the new Made by Mitchell skin stuff. I do also have a couple of the felt tip lip liners. I've got a blush book and I've got one of the blush balm lights. So we're going to try these today. Ooh, this has separated. Let's give it a shake. I don't love the way that looks. So we've got the Blur Radiance Blur Prep. We've got the Build Foundation in LB4, which I may have gone too light. And something I've definitely gone too light with this is the Brighten Concealer. Me and Millie had a conversation about this. We're like, yeah, this is a good shade for us. No, it's not. It's way too light. So we're going to do very highlighted today, but we'll see. So I got the Blur Primer in LBL2. This is basically going to be a Charlotte Tilbury dupe, I think. So I believe we've got a giant doe foot applicator. Yes, we have. Not my favourite way to apply things. I think it's kind of gross. But nevertheless, let's put some of this on. Like I said, I went for the shade LB2. I have got a little bit of the Beauty Bay Squalene moisturiser on, but other than that, I didn't do any primer. This smells kind of like, it almost smells a bit like coffee-y. I don't quite know how much to put on, so we'll put about that much on. And we're going to blend. Picked myself up a new foundation brush. This is the Sephora No. 6 Multitasker brush. I'm going to use this today, why not? Come out. Oh, I love these little brush caps they put on them. Very cute. Right, okay, so we're going to blend in with this. It's trying a new foundation and a new brush at the same time. A bit silly, maybe, but we'll see. Okay, it's really nice and dense. Feels very similar to all other foundation brushes. Okay, this is very radiant. It's definitely dried down while I was nattering though. Okay. Does it blur? Maybe a little bit, but it's not. It is very radiant. That shade is a good shade for me. It is kind of given more, like you can see the kind of glitter particles in it, whereas the Charlotte Tilbury I feel like gives a sheen rather than a sparkle. But I feel like underneath foundation, which is all I would ever use a product like that for, it's going to be fine. Let's give this one a shake. Right, this is the Build Foundation in LB4. Again. Now, I don't know anything about this foundation. The whole way they launched this, this product, I did not like. So they did like a 7-hour TikTok live, and they released a new product every hour. And don't get me wrong, yes, there was free shipping, which is great. So I made 3 different orders because I didn't want things to sell out by the time the next thing kind of came out. My issue with that is not good for the planet. If they were going to do that and say, we'll combine all your orders, that would be great. But I don't love the fact that this order, I've also got something on back order as well, one of the new like mini travel cases. So technically this order is going to have come by the time they come in 4 different packages, which just feels like such a waste of fuel and, you know what I mean, packing materials, just everything. It just seems a bit daft. Also, the whole releasing something every hour. This foundation actually doesn't release until October. So I bought myself the wrong shade and I can't do anything about it. But then it was like, this foundation's only going live for an hour, but when you went on the next morning, it was still live. And they only sold it through TikTok. I get they were trying to like break records, but I don't actually know anything much about the products from that live. That's how I ended up with the wrong shade concealer, because me and Millie were kind of just guessing. And how I ended up with a foundation that, yeah, this is going to work for me great in the winter, but it's not winter right now and I can't repurchase it until winter. So I couldn't even buy a darker shade if I wanted to. So yeah, I don't love that. Like I said, I don't actually know what the finish is like. The shade's not too bad. But this is like a soft matte finish, which you guys know I'm a glowy girl at heart. You can definitely see the blur primer through it. But it is definitely like settling and a bit dry on my nose. And I definitely should have put like a very hydrating primer on with this before I tried it, but I didn't know, so yeah, it looks nice. I don't love the way it looks on my nose. I feel like my skin is probably going to eat it because it's just kind of begging for hydration. So had I known it was this kind of demi matte finish, I would have put something more hydrating on underneath it, but I did not know because I didn't know anything about this. So yeah, on first impression, don't hate it, don't love it. Do really like this brush though. Right, this concealer is too light even for my pasty ass. Yeah, I do not love that. Again, doe foot applicator, obviously, for a concealer. We're just going to pop a tiny bit under my eyes because it's so light. And I might put a tiny bit on my nose just to try and combat any of that dryness. But that's probably going to make it worse because it's lighter. So smart. I do somewhat know what I'm talking about, I promise. Right, okay. Right, now that doesn't make sense to me. This foundation is very heavy coverage. This concealer is incredibly light coverage. That, I mean, you can, considering how white that was, you can barely see it because it's kind of just blended away to nothing. I don't know. I think that would almost be more... It would work better with the Truth Tint. I don't know whether the Bulk Balm would in fact work better with this foundation. I really don't know about this. I don't like the way it looks on my nose. It's definitely too dry on my nose. But the concealer's kind of just gone, which I don't hate. I just think it's a weird thing to launch with this foundation. I don't know. These are going to take some more testing. What I think I'm going to do, I'm probably not going to mention these three. Maybe this one, if this one's actually launched. I'm probably not going to mention these again until they actually launch in October, and then I will do a wear test and I'll be able to give you like a good kind of, these are my thoughts, this is what I think, yes, no, maybe, if that makes sense, just because I don't know how I feel. I don't love it on first application. It's definitely not the worst foundation I've ever tried, and it does look nice on my kind of cheek area. It's got that kind of demi-matte finish. But for me, as a person who is very dry, it definitely doesn't work on my nose. It could work if I used a better primer. But like I said, because I didn't really know anything about the foundation, I just thought I'll just pop some moisturiser on. I don't want to take it too far, kind of. So I don't know. Right, let's bronze up a little. Let's use Mitchell Teddy Bear. Is this going to be too dark for today? Probably. Let's go for... I'm going to go for hollow there instead, just because this foundation's quite light. And I don't want to look insane. And this is kind of more of like a pale girl contour shade. I feel like this could be a good match in the winter, but even though it's basically pissed it down for the past 3 months, I do have somewhat of a tan from the few summer days we've had. So yeah, it's not a great match right now. Right, we're going to go old school here. We're going to blend it in with the Real Techniques contour brush, is this called? I don't know, it's all rubbed off. I think it's the contour brush. A very old school brush, but one I do really like still. I still think it's a great brush. Okay, I definitely think it looks better with some bronzer on. I look less flat. It is quite like a flat matte finish, even with that glowy primer on underneath. I wouldn't like to imagine what it looks like without the glowy primer underneath, to be honest, because I feel like it will look very, very flat. But yeah, it looks good. Everything's going on nicely on top of it. We're going to do the blush balm. This is the shade Pink Lynx. I didn't think I'd necessarily use the kind of more highlightery shade, so I went for one I can use as like a shimmery blush. So I'm just going to pop this on some sort of clean blush. We'll go for this one. Real Techniques, another throwback, blush brush. We're just going to pop a bit of this on. I'm just going to try it on the brush first, so I don't know how pigmented this is going to be. I really like the blush balms, but I don't know with this one being a light whether there'll be less pigment to it. There is definitely less pigment to it. You definitely need a denser brush, so I'm just going to pinch this together. That is really pretty. I think I made a good shade choice there, actually. That is beautiful. Very, very much that kind of glowy blush that I was kind of aiming for. I really like that. Takes a little bit of building up, but obviously these are technically meant to be like highlighters more than blushes, but I think that looks really pretty. We've also got the Living in Pink, a practical guide to unique and brilliant ways of using pink around the home. It's such, these little books are so cute. I was kind of gutted by the anatomy one. I don't know whether you guys know, I don't know whether I've mentioned it recently, but I actually have a degree in forensic science and anthropology, so I love like anything kind of anatomy based, but they weren't my shades. I wasn't ever going to use it. This one was definitely far more my shade. I said I wasn't buying one of these because I don't really use blush palettes, but I thought because this one's smaller it can go in my actual blush drawer, so maybe I will use it. I don't know, we'll see. But today I think we're going to do Sugar Cube over Pink Lynx because I think that will look really pretty. I'm not going too mad with it because Made by Mitchell blushes, these are just blushes, are very pigmented. I think the pink looks cute with the blue moment we've got going on today. Okay, that is really pretty. Right, okay. Last thing we've got to try, I'm kind of scared of these. These are the Modern Melt liquid lip liners. I don't know whether I'm going to be like these. I watched Millie's video. She didn't love them. I don't know. But I got two shades. I got Meet Me Halfway, and I got Cabo Kiss because I wasn't 100% sure I was going to love the formula, so I didn't want to buy anything kind of out there. Millie got the red, beautiful colour, but with the formula I'm not sure. They're really weird. They've got these kind of bobbly tips. I don't know how this is going to be for precision. I like a sharp lip line, and I don't know whether this is going to be able to deliver that. My lips are a little bit dry, but I feel like any lip balm will interfere with this formula, so we're just... keep doing it. To be fair, I thought these were going to pick up on every single dry patch. It actually looks really smooth, but it is very sticky, and I don't really like that. I'm going to give it a minute to dry. I'm going to come back. We're going to put some gloss over it, I think. Okay, now it's dried down. It's definitely not as sticky. Transfer proof, which I do enjoy. I just got shimmer on my lips. Does not feel comfortable. It feels quite tight on the lips. So like I said, we're going to put some gloss over it. This is Mitchell Nudie Moody. Is this... no, we're not using this. This is one of the liquid lipsticks. I just thought when I opened it then, I was like, that's not right. Okay, we're going to use Party Pearls, which is from the Disco Collection. I do believe you can still get this. This is a lip gloss. Just give it a bit of a move about. Let's see how this goes. Okay, I think these are going to be a great base for lip gloss. Very, very, very minimal transfer on the lip gloss one, which is always a win. Yeah, I think they're going to be a great base because it feels much better now it's got lip gloss over it. My only worry is that when the lip gloss wears away, how is this going to feel again? Is it going to be dead dry again? It hasn't separated the lip liner. The one thing I will say, it doesn't matter so much with the nude shades, but it's giving serious butthole lip. If you don't know what butthole lip is, I mean like the ring around here where you can clearly tell there's no product on. With like a normal kind of lip liner, you can kind of blend that in so it's not so obvious. With these, it's a very, very defined line. So I think with the darker shades, that would be very, very noticeable. Overall, I like it so far. We're going to give it 10 minutes while I finish off my eyes for the other video. And then I'll come back and kind of show you what it looks like in 10 or so minutes. Right, okay. We have been wearing this for about 10 minutes. The foundation doesn't look any different. But when I was putting my under eye shadow on, I noticed that the concealer has creased really badly. Now, I don't set my concealer normally, unless it's going to be a really long day. I don't really set my face at all. So for me, the fact that the concealer creases within 10 minutes is not ideal. It means I'm going to have to set it, which sort of makes me go back on the statement I said before about how I think it would work really well with the Truth Tint, because for me the Truth Tint, the whole point of it is you just chuck it on and you go and it's done. So yeah, I don't know. I'm really on the fence about this one. I will kind of let you guys know in the comments how it wore throughout the day, but like I said, if you do want to see an actual like full wear test when it launches properly, let me know. Overall current rating, I'd probably give it a 6, and I think I'd probably give the concealer like a 4. This blur stuff it's fine, it seems fine. The only thing is it keeps separating in the bottle, which is kind of gross. So I'd probably give this like a 7.5. It's nothing exciting, unless it does something weird to my foundation. I'll use it. But yeah, don't love the foundation. don't love the concealer. I'd love to know if you picked these up, what you thought of them. Let me know in the comments. I do hope you did enjoy this video, even though it wasn't as positive as I like to be sometimes. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more from me, hit subscribe. And if you want to make sure you never miss another video, hit the bell icon and YouTube will notify you next time I post. You've been fabulous. I've been Coleoftheball, and I'll see you next time. Bye.